Oumuamua, which is an object that we detected in space that you believe could possibly have been extraterrestrial.
Elon Musk just spilled some cosmic tea. Remember that weird space traveler called Oumuamua that zipped through our solar system back in 2017, leaving scientists scratching their heads? Well, it's back.
And this time the usual follow-up measurements of position and speed showed something completely different.
This cigar-shaped visitor from another star system has everyone in the science world totally floored. Picture this.
It's kind of like a little jet engine on the surface. It just gives it a little thrust over time.
Wild, right? Scientists are arguing over what it could be as it swings back into our neighborhood with a crew of mystery companions. Is this just some funky natural space oddity? Or, hold on to your hats, could it be something built by aliens? The theories are getting crazier by the day. So first subscribe to the channel, stick with us, as we unpack the jaw-dropping details of this out-of-this-world mystery. Elon Musk himself confirmed it. Oumuamua's second visit is one of the weirdest things modern astronomy has ever seen. For anyone new to the story, let's rewind. Back in 2017, astronomers spotted this thing, sometimes nicknamed Boomerang Moa, darting through our solar system. It was moving in a way that screamed, "I'm not from around here." And they were right. It was the first object ever caught visiting us from beyond our solar system. No one could figure out exactly what it was, but now that it's back, the cosmic detective work is heating up. They called this bizarre space visitor Oumuamua, a cool Hawaiian name that means scout or messenger from far away, showing up first. Back in 2017, it popped into our solar system out of nowhere, zoomed past the sun, and then slung itself right back out into the void, leaving everyone puzzled. Poof, gone. But guess what? It's back, and this time, it's brought some buddies along. Things just got real, folks. Hang tight for some mind-blowing twists ahead. Oumuamua isn't just a hit with stargazing nerds. Elon Musk was all over it too. Right around the time SpaceX finished building a fancy deep space telescope, their sensors lit up with the same wild news astronomers were buzzing about. Oumuamua's making a comeback. The first visit already shook up the space crowd, but now there's more than one of these things cruising around our solar system. Musk didn't hold back. He called it the biggest discovery in human history. He even told governments and space agencies, "Hey, wake up, this is serious." According to him, we're either looking at some freaky natural mystery we can't crack yet, or, get this, something way crazier. When Musk says it's a big deal, you don't just shrug it off. Oh, and one thing's for sure. This isn't some random rock tumbling in from our own backyard. That kicked the science world into high gear. Labs all over the planet jumped in to figure out how Oumuamua pulled off this epic encore. It all started with a weird flicker on telescope screens. Thousands of observatories spotted something slicing through space at a totally odd angle. This wasn't your everyday asteroid or comet doing its usual loop around the sun. Nope, it was moving like it had a mind of its own. At first, some worried it might be coming for us, like, what if it's an alien weapon or something? They scrambled to track its path. Good news. The data showed it's just passing through interstellar space near our solar system, not aiming straight at Earth. Phew. Still, it's definitely from way out there, beyond our cosmic neighborhood, and it's keeping everyone on their toes wondering what's next. Then, scientists spotted something wild. This new object was following the exact same path as Oumuamua, like it was retracing its old footsteps. One expert even said, "I'd bet everything I own that it's just a natural thing." But here's where it gets crazy. Either Oumuamua itself pulled a U-turn and came back, or something identical showed up. And when they scanned the skies for more clues, they got a shock. It wasn't just one object this time, there were several. If Oumuamua's first visit in 2017 was a one-off, we could have chalked it up to a weird space fluke. But now, with a second object looking and moving almost the same, plus a few more tagging along, that theory's toast. Something big is going on. Twice in less than 10 years, stuff from way out in the cosmic void has dropped by our solar system. This time, though, these visitors are a little different. They're still long and skinny, like giant space cigars, and they don't act like typical comets or asteroids. No gas trails puffing out when they swing by the sun, like comets usually do, and they're not just drifting along like boring old rocks either. Here's the kicker. Instead of slowing down or getting tugged by gravity in normal ways, these things actually speed up a bit, just like Oumuamua did back in the day. But there's more. The new object isn't flying solo. It's got at least two buddies trailing behind it. Now, they're not super close to us or anything wild like that, just easier to spot this time. Back in 2017, Oumuamua zoomed through so fast we barely had time to blink before it was gone. Our tech wasn't ready. But now, we're in a whole new game. Telescopes on the ground are sharper. Space agencies have deep space projects humming along. And even private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have high-tech satellites with cameras locked on the sky. This time, we're not just waving goodbye as they zip past. We're tracking them. Within days of spotting these newcomers, NASA and other space crews were racing to cook up missions. Unlike last time, when we were caught off guard, these objects are giving us a golden second shot. SpaceX even teamed up with NASA to rush a probe into space, hoping to get up close and personal with one of these mystery objects before it vanishes into the darkness again. And guess what? We're not the only ones on the case. The action's heating up. Other countries are jumping in too. China's space agency is cooking up its own plans, while the European Space Agency might tweak one of their probes to chase down these weird objects. Back in 2017, sending anything to catch an interstellar visitor like Oumuamua sounded like sci-fi madness. But now, thanks to slick new tech, it's totally doable. And if you're wondering why everyone's in such a rush, well, you should be. If these things aren't just random space rocks or icy chunks, if there's something more, we've got to figure it out before they zoom off again. Let's rewind to how this all started with Oumuamua's first visit in 2017. Back then, scientists couldn't agree on what it was. Comet? Asteroid? Or, get this, something way stranger. A few even whispered it might be a probe from an alien civilization, but with no proof, the idea fizzled out. Now, with these new objects showing up, those wild questions are roaring back. Here's the spooky part. These new visitors still don't act like normal space stuff. They're not slowing down or getting yanked around by the sun's gravity like they should. Instead, they're picking up speed and zigzagging in weird ways, just like Oumuamua did. Some scientists thought maybe it's outgassing, where hidden ice heats up, turns to gas, and gives the object a little shove. Sounds neat, right? Except there's a hitch. These things aren't showing any gas trails, no puffs, no bursts, just smooth, steady cruising. That's got Elon Musk and other big shots in the space biz raising eyebrows. To them, these objects look less like natural junk and more like something built. Some experts are even saying this might be the start of a trend we're only just noticing. If these aren't random rocks tumbling through space, but something with a job to do, then what's the gig? Are they just passing by or are they scoping us out? Right now, the smartest folks on Earth are glued to their telescopes, crunching data, and plotting missions to get answers. But so far, it's all question marks. To really get the full picture, let's hop back to where it all began. Let's take it back to how we first stumbled onto Oumuamua in 2017. It all kicked off on a regular day, October 19th, when a scientist named Robert Warwick was sifting through data from the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii. This big eye in the sky was doing its usual gig, scanning for asteroids that might smack into Earth. But then, something funky popped up. At first, it just looked like another space rock drifting by. But when Robert dug deeper, he was like, "Hold up, this ain't normal." It was zooming way too fast, faster than anything we'd ever seen in our solar system. Most asteroids and comets stick to predictable paths, either looping around the sun or getting tugged by Jupiter's gravity. Not this guy. It was slicing through space at a wonky angle, like it didn't care about our rules. Robert checked some older telescope pics and, bam, realized it had already zipped past Earth and was hightailing it out of here. We'd totally missed it until that moment. By the time everyone caught on, it was already waving goodbye, racing out of our solar system. That's when it hit us. This was no ordinary visitor. It was the first thing we'd ever caught dropping in from another star system. Total history-making stuff. Since it was spotted in Hawaii, they gave it a cool Hawaiian name, Oumuamua, meaning scout or messenger from afar. But here's the million-dollar question. What was it? Back then, no one knew, and even now, we're still scratching our heads. Robert kept tracking it as it spun end over end every 7.3 hours, and that's when the real mystery kicked in. Stick around, because the next part's a jaw-dropper. The big puzzle, it was speeding up. Most scientists were stumped, but Harvard's professor Avi Loeb threw out a wild idea. What if Oumuamua isn't a rock at all? What if it's an alien spaceship? He figured that speed boost could mean it had some kind of engine, maybe controlled remotely, or heck, maybe even with little green pilots inside. Now, most scientists weren't ready to jump on the alien bandwagon, but they couldn't explain it either. The telescope in Hawaii had caught this super weird thing from beyond our solar system, and it didn't fit any normal categories. The kicker? By the time we realized how big a deal Oumuamua was, it was too late to chase it down. No spacecraft could catch up. It was in and out before we could blink. All we had left were some blurry telescope snaps and a pile of rushed data. We didn't get any close-up pics or grab any samples. Total bummer. For the space crowd, it was like missing the winning shot in a big game. Oumuamua was a once-in-a-lifetime visitor, and it slipped right through our hands in 2017. If we'd caught it sooner, we could have sent a probe to check it out and get some real answers. Instead, telescopes just watched it fade away as it cruised farther from the sun, getting dimmer every day. By early 2018, it was gone. Out of sight, out of reach, lost in the deep dark of space. Scientists figured another interstellar traveler might swing by someday, but who knew when, or if it'd be anything like Oumuamua. Even after it vanished, the arguments wouldn't quit. Was it a comet? An asteroid? Something else? NASA, SpaceX, and others quietly started gearing up for the next round. No one wanted to get caught napping again. Then, years later, surprise, it came back. And this time, it brought some pals along. Stick around, because we're about to dive into the wildest ideas about this Oumuamua mystery. You won't believe what's coming next. Could it actually be alien? Let's break it down. Oumuamua wasn't shaped like your typical space rock. Picture this. It was super long, somewhere between 240 and 400 meters, like a football field or two, but crazy skinny, only about 35 meters wide. Think of it as a giant space pencil. And it wasn't just chilling out there, it was flipping and tumbling like a wild gymnast. If it had been spinning for millions of years, you would think it had settled down, but nope, it was still going nuts. Something had set it off, and it wasn't slowing down. Then there's the weird color vibe. Oumuamua had this reddish tint, which isn't totally unheard of. Some space rocks turn red from radiation, but the shade and the way it reflected light? Totally off the charts. It didn't match anything we know. Some folks guessed it might have a thin coat of organic stuff, like what you'd find on icy space objects. But here's where it gets juicy. Harvard's Professor Avi Loeb isn't just throwing out alien guesses for fun. He's got a theory called the light sail idea. This guy's a big deal in astrophysics, studying black holes and the universe's first stars. After eyeballing all the telescope data, Loeb says, what if Oumuamua's super thin and light? Maybe it's not a rock at all. Maybe it's a sail. Sunlight alone could have been nudging Oumuamua along. That's how a light sail works. A spacecraft that sails through space not with wind, but with light. Picture a super thin, shiny sheet catching tiny light particles from a star, giving it a gentle push forward. If Oumuamua was made of something crazy thin, that could explain why it was speeding up in that weird way we talked about earlier. Now, if that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, hold up, it's not. We're already messing with this tech right here on Earth. Back in 2019, a group called the Planetary Society launched a spacecraft called LightSail 2. And guess what? It used sunlight to tweak its orbit like a champ. Around the same time, a big-shot billionaire named Yuri Milner kicked off a project called Breakthrough Starshot. Their plan? Build tiny probes with light sails to zip over to Alpha Centauri, our closest star system. So, if we humans are playing with light sails, isn't it possible some alien crew figured it out way before us? The light sail idea gets even cooler when you think about Oumuamua's shape. At first, scientists pictured it as a long cigar-like thing, but later, some thought it might be flat, like a disc or a giant space pancake. A thin, flat shape would be perfect for catching sunlight and zooming along, just like Oumuamua did. Some folks argued, but wait, if it's flat, why is it flipping all over the place? Fair point, but it doesn't kill the idea. What if it's an old, busted-up light sail, tumbling through space after a long, wild trip? Now, buckle up for the wildest theory yet. What if Oumuamua's spying on us? Think about our own space probes, like Voyager 1 and 2, cruising out there with golden records full of Earth's greatest hits. What if another civilization did the same thing millions or even billions of years ago? Oumuamua could be an ancient probe, drifting for longer than humans have been around. Here's the mind bender. The aliens who built it might be long gone, extinct, kaput, or maybe they sent it so far back they've lost track of where it is. But here's the snag that makes scientists squint. If it's a probe, shouldn't it be chatting? You'd think it'd send out radio signals or some kind of, "Hey, I'm here" vibe. So far, though, nada. Not a peep. Not so fast. It doesn't have to be blasting signals. Stick around, this next part's too good to miss. We're diving deeper into the endless Oumuamua puzzle. What if it's built to be sneaky or super quiet? A lot of our own space probes stay silent most of the time to save power. Or what if it's just busted? If Oumuamua's been cruising through space for millions of years, it could have been smashed up by space junk or run out of juice. Back in December 2017, Astronomers gave it a shot anyway. A project called Breakthrough Listen pointed some mega-powerful radio telescopes at Oumuamua, hoping to catch any weird beeps or blips. They were looking for anything real, like a pattern of dots or a trail of signals. But nothing. Total silence. Still, that doesn't mean it's not a probe. If it's dead, designed to stay hush, or just works in ways we don't get, we wouldn't hear a peep. Here's another wild thought. What if Oumuamua's a ghost ship? Picture an old, abandoned alien spacecraft, once a bustling machine, now just a hollow shell drifting through the cosmos. Maybe it was a transport, a science ship, or even a message in a bottle tossed out to wander forever. Think about our own space junk, satellites and probes we've left floating around. Thousands of years from now, if aliens stumbled across Voyager 1, would they think it's a live probe or just trash from a long-gone civilization? Now, not everyone's sold on the alien angle. Most scientists lean toward natural explanations because, well, it's safer. We've never proven alien tech exists. Calling Oumuamua artificial feels like a leap to them. Plenty of astronomers argue it's probably a funky comet, even without a tail. Some say it could be made of strange ice that doesn't act like the comets we know. But here's the snag. Every natural idea has a weak spot. Nothing fits perfectly. So, while the "it's artificial" theory raises eyebrows, it's still in the game. Times like this bring out the craziest ideas. And get this, some folks are even saying we humans might be behind the Oumuamua mystery. Buckle up, because the theories are about to get wilder. That's exactly why scientists are kicking themselves for not getting a closer peek at Oumuamua. If we'd spotted it sooner, we could have sent a spacecraft to tail it, like NASA did with the asteroid Bennu. Imagine the pics we might have snapped. Would we have seen a shiny metal surface instead of boring rock? Could we have spotted alien tech up close? We'll never know. But don't worry, the story's far from over. If one showed up, more are coming. If Oumuamua was some kind of alien probe, it's probably not flying solo. A super smart civilization might have sent out tons of them, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands. Even if it's just a natural space traveler, that still means interstellar visitors are swinging by our solar system all the time. They sneak in from above the flat plane of our planets. We just haven't caught most of them yet. Case in point, in 2019, we nabbed another one called 2I/Borisov. It was more like a classic comet, with a tail and all, unlike Oumuamua. But it proved the big idea. These cosmic drop-ins aren't a one-off. So, more are on the way, and next time, we'll be way more prepared. But what's the plan? Can we catch the next visitor in time? And what if something even weirder shows up? Stick around. We've got answers coming, and they're out of this world. So, what's next after Oumuamua? The original zoomed off into deep space in 2017, and we might never see it again. But now that we've got its number, we're on the lookout for others. This time, Oumuamua's back with a couple of buddies, but we're not letting them slip away so easily. Scientists are saying, no more misses. To study these interstellar travelers properly, we need sharper tools, telescopes that can spot them way earlier. Good news? That's already in the works. A shiny new telescope, the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, is being built in Chile. This bad boy can scan the whole sky every few nights, so fast movers like Oumuamua won't sneak by unnoticed. It'll be up and running soon, and once it is, we might start catching these cosmic guests all the time. And if we spot one early enough, boom, we could launch a spacecraft to chase it down before it bolts into the void again. No more waving goodbye to mysteries like that long, cigar-shaped visitor that cruised through our neighborhood. The next big leap. Telescopes are awesome, but we need more than sharp eyes. We need a super speedy machine, something that can zoom out, catch up to these interstellar visitors, snap close-up pics, and figure out what they're made of. A team of scientists has already pitched an idea called Project Lyra. Picture this: a rocket-powered spacecraft so fast it could chase down something like Oumuamua before it ditches our solar system. If we could pull that off, we'd finally crack the million-dollar question. Is Oumuamua just a funky rock or something way cooler? Right now, it's just a dream on paper. These things haul through space at insane speeds, so we'd need next-level rocket tech to keep up. But guess what? Our tech's getting better every day. If we build some powerhouse spacecraft in the next 10 years, we might just nab the next Oumuamua live in action. Now, here's the mind-blowing twist. What if the next visitor isn't a random space rock? What if it's something built, no doubt about it? That'd flip everything upside down. Governments, space agencies, and big companies like SpaceX would race to check it out. It'd be the hugest discovery ever, like history book huge. But then we'd hit a wild fork in the road. Do we try to say hi to this thing, or smash it before it phones home with our address? If it's a dead probe, there's no one to chat with. But if it's still ticking? Oh boy, the arguments would heat up fast. Right now, nobody's got a playbook for this. No government has a what to do if we find alien tech manual. Some folks at SETI, the alien hunting crew, have tossed around ideas, but they're still figuring it out. The late Stephen Hawking even warned that pinging an alien craft could be risky. If a super smart civilization spotted us, they might look at us like we look at squirrels. Cute, but no big deal. That's a spooky thought. History shows when a stronger group meets a weaker one, it doesn't always end well for the little guy. Just look at how we've treated wild animals. Yikes. Could we end up as the deer dodging the hunter? On the flip side, some say an advanced species sending probes might just be curious. Space nerds like us, exploring the galaxy. Maybe they don't even care about Earth. Those folks say, let's wave hello and see what happens. So, what's your take? Contact or caution? No matter what, if the next interstellar visitor turns out to be something built by aliens, it'll flip everything we think we know about the universe upside down. Even if it's just another natural space rock, that doesn't mean we're done hunting for alien tech. Some scientists reckon there could already be alien gadgets hiding in our solar system. We just haven't peeked hard enough yet. Here's the deal. If a super smart civilization wanted to spy on us, they wouldn't roll up blaring signals like a cosmic boombox. They might sneak a quiet probe in, park it somewhere, and let it watch us, silently soaking up info, scoping out our weak spots, and jotting down notes about life on Earth. Oumuamua wasn't the first weird thing we've noticed in the universe, and it sure won't be the last. Scientists aren't snoozing on this either. We've got more oddball space stories coming your way in a sec. But first, let's talk about a cool new mission from Avi Loeb, that Harvard professor who's all about Oumuamua. He's kicked off something called the Galileo Project. Think of it like a cosmic treasure hunt. His team's scouring our solar system for actual alien stuff. Not just radio chatter, but real objects. They're checking out old interstellar visitors, scanning the moon for anything funky, and even digging into those wild UFO sightings pilots keep reporting. The vibe isn't aliens are definitely real. It's more like, let's grab some solid data and see what's up. If there's something out there, we'd be silly not to look. The universe is massive, And now we know stuff from other star systems cruises through ours all the time. Most will be snooze-worthy rocks. Some might be head-scratchers. And, just maybe, one could prove we've got company out there. The trick is being ready. If another Oumuamua pops up, we need the gear to jump on it fast. Better telescopes, zippy spacecraft, and a game plan for wild surprises, like, what if it's hostile? Because if we dawdle, it'll slip away into the dark, just like before. Speaking of weird space moments, let's rewind to 2014, 3 years before Oumuamua crashed the party. Something tiny but crazy fast zipped into Earth's atmosphere and burned up over the Pacific near Papua New Guinea. Back then, it was just another meteor. Cool, but no big deal. Years later, scientists checked the numbers and went, wait a sec. This thing, now called Cenios 2014-1-8, was moving way too quick and on a wonky path to be from our solar system. It was another interstellar speedster, and it might just tell us secrets about our cosmic past. Scientists figured out this speedy little meteor wasn't from around here. It was the first interstellar object we know of to slam into Earth. Mind-blowing, right? But then, it got wilder. What if bits of it are still chilling at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean? Avi Loeb, our Oumuamua-loving professor, wasn't about to let that slide. In 2023, he led a mission to hunt for leftovers. His team scooped up tiny metal spheres from the ocean floor, and early tests showed they're made of stuff that doesn't quite match typical space rocks. Some folks started whispering, could this be a chunk of an alien probe or some mysterious tech we don't get yet? Before Loeb's treasure hunt, the U.S. Space Command had already said, in 2022, they were 99.999% sure this meteor came from beyond our solar system. For now, it's just a cool guess, but one thing's for sure, interstellar stuff has crashed into us before, and it'll happen again. Then there's more weirdness from 2019 and beyond. Space keeps tossing us curveballs, like these things called fast radio bursts, FRBS for short. They're super quick blasts of radio waves from way out in deep space, lasting just milliseconds, but packing as much punch as the sun puts out in a whole year. The first one popped up in 2007, and since then, we've caught hundreds more. Space is full of surprises, and every time something new shows up, scientists are like, whoa, what's this now? Thanks for hanging out with us through all these cosmic mysteries. What do you think's going on out there in interstellar space? Drop your ideas in the comments. We'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this wild ride, give us a like, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Oh, and check out the next video popping up on your screen. You're gonna love it!